We're about to reach the culmination of what has been a fascinating election in the state of Karnataka. This is Karan Dev, and joining me today are two very special guests who've previously given us their take on the Karnataka elections. I'm joined by Professor Sandeep Shastri, firstly, who's the National Coordinator of Lokniti Network, a senior political analyst and psephologist from the state of Karnataka. Professor Shastri, you've been very tied up the last couple of days. I've seen you on television screens breaking down the numbers that a lot of the big media networks have come out with. So as it stands today, it seems that the Congress is well ahead of the BJP and the JDS as per the India Today Access polls and several other exit polls that were declared yesterday. So, firstly, sir, what do you think is a reasonable reading? What is the final number that you are expecting to see in this election in terms of the final results as counting begins tomorrow? And secondly, sir, in either case, whether it's the BJP or the Congress that forms the government, what has been your biggest takeaway in this particular election? So I really look forward to hearing from Professor Shastri. Over and above that, I'm also joined by Amitabh Tiwari, who is, again, a senior political analyst. And Mr. Tiwari has been kind enough to also give us his time today. And we're looking forward to hearing from him a little later on. But for now, Professor Shastri, I'm very curious to hear your take. So in about 5 minutes, we'd love to hear about your final roundup of the Karnataka elections.
Thank you for this opportunity. This has been an election which has seen many ups and many downs. If you are to look at the exit polls, I think the direction of the trend is very clear. Karnataka seems to be repeating a trend it has followed for the last 4 decades. That is not giving a majority to a party which is the ruling party. Exit polls are varying on whether the Congress would secure a majority or would be the single largest party. Most of them clearly place the Congress ahead of the BJP. Most of the exit polls give the Congress triple digits, and some give it even beyond 113, whereas except one, none of the exit polls give BJP beyond double digits. So there is a clear sense that the Congress seems to be ahead if the exit polls are to be taken seriously. The question is it just ahead or is it going to cross the majority mark? My own sense is that it seems to be more likely to cross the majority mark, but not to the extent that some people predict that it will be 135 plus or the likes. I think it will be a much more less extensive victory. It's likely to be more in the range of 115 to 125. That's what, as per current trends, it looks to be. What has this election been all about? I think, one, the Karnataka result reinforces the point, the Karnataka trend, I shouldn't be saying result, the Karnataka trend as seen in the exit polls reinforce the point that state elections are increasingly fought on state level issues. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that the response of the Karnataka voter has been to their state government, which was generally not seen as performing to the level that it should have. So while the people seem to be quite happy with the performance of the central government, this is not going to be a verdict on the central leadership, but the Karnataka voters saying that this is a state election, so we are looking at the state government we are going to have. And the state government, which was of the BJP, did not appear to be as popular as the BJP would have liked it to be, and that is reflected in important ways in the direction that the exit polls show. So I think number one, the fact which is now becoming clear across the country that the voter makes a distinction between state elections and national elections. There were two narratives in this election. You had the Congress emphasizing local issues. You had the BJP focusing on its national leaders and a national agenda. And now in retrospect, some people could say maybe that was the start of their campaign for the next year's Lok Sabha election and was not so much a focus on the state assembly election. Secondly, I think this exit poll shows that both the Congress and the BJP tried to create a rainbow social coalition. And if the exit poll results are to be believed, I think the Congress was a little more successful in creating this coalition by bringing together the OBCs, Dalits, tribals, and the minorities, and an element of the two dominant castes, the Lingayats and Vokkaligas. So the success of the Congress, if the exit polls were to be correct, was the fact that the social coalition that they created. The social arithmetic was right. But let's wait for the ultimate result because we'll get to know by day after what actually has happened.
Thank you so much, Professor Shastri, for your excellent analysis. We look forward to seeing how the final results pan out. And it's interesting, some of the points that you made in terms of social coalitions that both the Congress and the BJP have come up with in this election. So my next guest is Amitabh Tiwari. He's been on the Think Tank's Wellcast before, but he's one of the senior most political analysts in the country. He's closely been tracking Karnataka. And Mr. Tiwari, thank you so much for joining me on Swell today. As Professor Shastri said, this is going to be a very close election. And I was wondering what you made of the exit poll numbers, firstly. From your point of view, do you think they hold up? And are you expecting a huge difference in terms of the final predictions? I mean, the final verdict and what's being said on these election polls and the exit polls that have come up in the last couple of days. That's my first question, sir. And secondly, what do you think this really represents? Do you think Karnataka is something that is part of a broader trend in Indian politics? Do you think there's kind of like a shift towards the opposition now, given that Karnataka is, given that Congress is well placed to possibly form the government? But what is your reading, sir? Is this part of a broader trend in opposition unity, or do you think that this is just a standalone election and needs to be viewed separately from what's going on nationally? I look forward to hearing from you, Mr. Tiwari. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Team Swell. Good to be here again. See, out of the 10 exit polls, 8 are showing Congress to be ahead or emerging as the single largest party, and 2 of them are showing BJP as the SLP or the winner. So exit polls generally are a better barometer of electoral trends and results. They do, in most of the cases, predict the direction of the result correctly. However, Karnataka is a close election. Historically, it has been close because the last 3 of the 4 elections have thrown a hung verdict. And in 2 out of those 3 situations, the single largest party has not been able to form the government. Like in 2004, BJP was the SLP, and in 2018 also, it was not able to form the government. So it is a tight election because in 2018, 60 seats were decided on a victory margin of less than 5%. It's a tight election because on 55 seats, there is a swing phenomenon, which I call it, these are the flip seats. BJP, Congress, BJP, BJP, JDS, BJP. 44 of these seats are held by the BJP. And on 29 seats, which makes it 84, there have been different winners in the last 3 elections. So it's a nightmare for any pollster to carry out an exit poll in Karnataka. Even last time, 2 out of 6 got it wrong, including the revered and the famous Axis My India poll. So this time, if you see, there are two outliers, Axis My India and Chanakya, which generally are outliers in any exit polls, because they as per my understanding, they do not do a lot of hedging or adjustment to their figures. They do reproduce the raw results as they are. Both of them are showing a good majority for Congress. At least the Axis My India poll is showing 140 odd seats. However, if you look at the caste-based or community-based supports, BJP is still holding on to the Lingayat support with 64% support in Axis My India survey. And amongst Vokaligas, BJP has now become the number 2 party, whereas Congress is the number 3. JDS still holding on to their largest support base of Vokaligas. So Congress party is either number 2 or number 3 amongst Lingayats and Vokaligas, which are the topmost influential communities of Karnataka. So where is it getting its vote? It seems to be getting its vote from the Ahinda, which is largely the Dalits, the tribals, and the other OBCs, including Kurubas and Muslims. Muslims seem to be consolidated in favor of the Congress with 88% support as per Axis My India and 73% as per Chanakya, whereas the average has been 60 to 65. So on the flip side, it seems that the Bajrang Dal factor may have worked in favor of the Congress by not splitting the minority vote, and that's why you see JDS probably performing poorer than expected in these two polls. BJP has a stock of, I would say, around 85 seats, which it has won 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 in the last 3 elections. So it has a concentrated block of seats wherein it is very, very difficult to defeat the BJP. That's why you see, if you remove these outliers, a very close election where Congress may just cross the halfway mark or may just fall short. If it falls short of 105 seats, then anything can happen, as it has happened in the past. So we'll have to watch out for the election day. I mean, exit polls do quench our thirst. In terms of opposition unity, see, I don't think Karnataka elections, even if Congress is going to win, is going to set a trend for the nation. Even if you recall the 2018 results, BJP was the SLP, single largest party in Karnataka, but it lost Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh in that same year within a time span of 6 months, and then again came back to win the Lok Sabha elections. Every state election is different. It is contested on local issues.
All right, so those are two very interesting perspectives from Professor Shastri and Mr. Amitabh Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, thank you so much for giving us your point of view and, also emphasizing that this might not necessarily result in a national outcome in the general elections, regardless of who forms the government. My next guest now is the Aam Aadmi Party candidate in Dasarahali in Bangalore. His name is Kirtan Kumar. He's been on Swell before. Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for joining us once again on Swell. I wanted to know from your point of view, more than the exit poll numbers, which we'd love to know your take on, what was your personal experience campaigning in this? Because this is the first major election that you've contested. So what was that experience like for you? And do you believe that these numbers are reflective of what's likely to happen on the ground? And secondly, what is the Aam Aadmi Party's wider vision? I mean, do you really see it grow in Karnataka in the next, say, 5-10 years? What are the prospects in terms of growth? So we look forward to hearing from you as well, sir. And, this is a panel that's growing, so I'm really looking forward to hearing all of the perspectives. Welcome back to Swell, Mr. Kirtan Kumar. Thank you so much again for giving us your time.
Thank you, Karan, for re-inviting me, and very glad and happy to be part of the conversation today. And of course, I'm very honored to be sharing a platform with Professor Sandeep Shastri sir, and just met sir 15 days back, and here we are on a platform. So also talking about the Karnataka elections, what we see a very anti-incumbency against BJP because of their huge corruption, which is very very visible to the voters of Karnataka, and also price hike about the gas cylinder. The petrol prices have hit the middle class and below middle class people, and also we see that gives a competitive edge for Congress to probably, of course, the exit polls say, but I'm sure there is also a chance of coalition government. So this is all a factor of these are the leading factors for the Congress coming into power. But again, coming to my campaign, I've had a wonderful experience at our constituency of Dasrali, where we've worked from past 6 months, and we could reach all the voters of Dasrali, and a very honest effort, me being the candidate, and also with our family on the ground, and completely our team which is built from past 6 months, and all our volunteers have climbed every floor of every house, the apartments, or the clusters, every place, and the people need change. We could see that, survey done also, 68% people wanted change, but till the last day, as we see, there is a huge, the huge distribution of cash which is done in every place of our constituency. Even if it was reported, it was not, no actions were being taken by the Election Commission. And this kind of cash distribution because we see BJP is giving 1,500, JDS is giving 1,000, Congress is giving 1,000, and as we see the voting percentage also, it has dropped. It is about 50.4%, which is very very low, as urban voters are not coming to vote. And also, of course, people need change, but this whole way of the election commission's structure, the whole way of conduction of election, and when you have certain rules, I feel it has to be ensured that the other candidates or the other parties have to follow. So this is something that was visible, and I could see an overwhelming response by the voters of Dasrali have overwhelmingly accepted. That's what a youth coming forward, whereas with the comparison between the other three candidates, and also they want the educated to be coming forward, and every MLA is just talking about the roads and the drainages, the sanitary lines to be done, or any other simple thing. But nobody had a narrative of setting good great impact to the constituency, huge projects which can be got into the constituency. So we spoke about rebuilding 22 government schools, coming up with one good 500 bedded hospital. At the same time, our Pina industrial area, which is a huge strength, we want to give them be voice of industries, because our Pina industrial area has a huge revenue which is being given to the state, but which is not being returned back to the constituency. So we want to be voice of all this, and also a voice of youth, whereas 18 to 35 year old age group was more in our constituency. So we want to be voice. So this was our experience. Thank you. And also we would like to thank Swell for